What do you hear when a college or university says, we do everything we can to keep tuition low? Do you know what I hear? I hear a lie. They might believe it, but it's still a lie. Or in the vernacular, it's complete horseshit. The fact is, colleges and universities only do what they must to keep tuition increases reasonable. Reasonable meaning they won't get a lot of blowback and bad press. It is a brilliant strategy. It has worked so well. It is literally boiling the frog. The public woke up one day, looked around and asked, hey, what happened? When did college get so expensive? And what's this mountain of student debt people are carrying around? In the meantime, we're leaving behind first-generation students, students of color, and working adults that have the talent, the discipline, and the desire to succeed. They can do the work. But colleges and universities price them out. How long do you think the United States can maintain a stable democracy and remain globally competitive when so many people are left out of getting a college education? And do you know what the really obnoxious thing is? The really obnoxious thing? There is no sense of urgency to fix it. The other thing that really bugs me, really bothers me, no one is honest and says, hey, you know what? Our action and our inaction prevent thousands, if not tens of thousands, of students from getting an education every year. Gosh, that's pretty terrible. Maybe we should do something about it. Sure, there are conferences and a lot of hand-wringing and a lot of papers and books and talking heads and complaints and blaming the public and blaming lawmakers and blaming business and blaming the government and finger-pointing about this, that, and the other. But no one takes the time to look in the mirror and say, yes, this is how we are part of the problem. No one says that as a faculty member or an administrator, a trustee, or staff, that I contribute to the problem of access, affordability, and debt. It's all like, well, it's not my fault. It's not my doing. The attitude seems to be, it's perfectly fine that smart, talented, and dedicated individuals that are capable, more than capable, of doing the work never get an education, as long as it works for us, and I don't have to make too many sacrifices. That would just be too hard. And look, let's be honest. There's no real consequences for colleges and universities if they don't change their ways. They still get students. They still get donations. And perversely, they might even go up in rankings. But hey, look, no one wants to feel bad about what they're doing. So, the lie. They say, we do everything we can to keep tuition low, and then choose to believe it. Now, you might be curious by now, what are some of the things I'm talking about? What specifically could institutions do to help keep tuition low that they might not be doing? I am really glad you asked. And let me return that question with a question. You could ask yourself, or if you're a parent or student or whatever, you could ask an institution. I've always been curious. Why do you shut the campus down in the summer? Is that really part of your mission, or is it just a habit? If you had a true third semester, how many more students could graduate on time? Wouldn't that save them thousands of dollars in tuition and fees? That would be helping keep tuition low. Do you have a clear path for community college transfer students to get to your campus? Do you make them feel welcome once they do, as you do for those people straight out of high school? Is there a place on your website where it's all perfectly clear? This class transfers, it counts for this. This is the process. This is the process. This is the process. Here's how it all works. Do you offer them scholarship money like you do for others? No, you don't. Why is that? What's that all about? Because helping students start at a community college would certainly help keep their overall tuition low. Answer me this. When was the last time you underwent a program prioritization process? That's where you get really honest about your classes and your majors and did the hard work to determine if they're still serving your students, community, and state. That would help free up resources and let you focus more on where they might be needed. That would help keep tuition low. Let's talk about online education. And I'm not referring to that crap you did during COVID because you had to, but really good online offerings. Have you explored how artificial intelligence can scale online programs? And have you thought about how that scale might help you bring costs and prices down? Oh, you haven't. Yeah, I didn't think so. Have you partnered with other colleges or universities for, let me think about this, I don't know, for anything? Maybe scale in purchasing, or God forbid, share online programs so not every institution doesn't have to reinvent the wheel? No, you're not doing that? Then you're not doing everything you can to keep tuition low. Here's another one. How many classes are offered on Fridays? And of those classes, how many are taught by tenured or tenured track faculty? Or, similarly, how many classes are taught after 4 o'clock? Or classes taught on weekends? Not a lot? Well, that's a great lifestyle for you. When you say students don't want classes at those times, or, the needs of working adults really don't count into all this. If you gave students a choice A, take a required class at this time, or B, pay tens of thousands of dollars more and graduate later, what do you think they might pick? What option would they go with? Oh, and before I forget, every decision that gets made in every strategic plan or whatever to increase a college's rankings in U.S. News and World Report or some other bullshit glory trophy contributes to the tuition problem. Stop pretending it doesn't. Okay, how about looking at the business end of things? Are there savings to be had that could be passed down to students? I'm really glad you asked that too. In 2010, an audit found the University of California, Berkeley could save $75 million a year, $75 million a year, just through better business practices. Now, in 2010, Berkeley had about 25,500 undergraduates. That equates to almost $3,000 per student that was wasted. In 2009, the University of North Carolina found possible savings of $150 million a year. In 2012, Ohio State University found a possible $1 billion in savings over 5 years. Let me ask you this question. Do you think all those cost-saving measures were actually implemented? I'd love to know. I'm really curious also, how many other state colleges and universities could see significant savings? Granted, those are huge, even if they're not that big. How much savings could they find if they really examined their business practices? How many billions added up nationally could be saved per year? Doing that would be part of doing everything they can to keep tuition low. Now, during COVID, a lot of institutions didn't raise tuition. Good on them, right call. But things are getting back to normal now. And as we're seeing, inflation is going up, and that's going to start being seen in tuition, going up, up, and up. And look, I get it. Things get more expensive every year. Expenses go up. State appropriations for public colleges and universities don't always follow suit. You have to make up the difference somewhere. Tuition increases are part of the deal. But don't try to tell us that you do everything you can to keep tuition low. It's just not true. Now, why am I so upset by this? It's because I love higher education. It transformed my life, and I want as many people as possible to get what I got. I love faculty. I love the students. I love campuses. I love online courses. I love all of it. Higher education is in the life transformation business, and it is awesome. And that's why I'm so upset. What colleges and universities do matters. It matters a lot because people's lives are transformed forever. So here's what we need you to do. We need you to do better. And you can do better. You're really smart. You got smart people. You can figure so much of this stuff out. But the first place we need you to start is stop believing your own BS.